crane final mix.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Part 6 of the chassis reinforcement. Starting to feel like it's dragging out a little bit to me, but every time I look at the car, I see that I made a lot of progress. So today, we'll finish up the bracket right behind here. Also in the last video, I was asking how I could get in this area over here. So I did get into this area, and I'll show you how I did that a little bit later in the video. I also did this line across here, right at the rear seat turn down part. And then I started doing the door frame. So I'm gonna do as far as I can over on the top and the bottom, but in order to complete this, I'm gonna have to take off the doors, and in order to take off the doors, I'm gonna take off the fenders. So I'm just gonna go down far as I can until I get to that point and wait till later on to finish that. So right now, I'm gonna come in this area, mark this out, and do this side first, then pull out that seat, and then do the couple at the bottom, and then clean that seam sealer off so I could show you how I did that side. So I finished this as far as I can go without the drill hitting the door. It's pretty close. And on the bottom side, I got all the way up until about where the speaker is on the door. So I only have this little area to go still. But came back over here, right behind the e-brake. I cleaned up all the seam sealer. I popped the roll rivets 1 inch apart, and then a couple on the back. So on this side here, I cleaned up all the seam sealer. I know the fuel line, the fuel return, and the 2 brake lines are underneath of here, and I think the vent line for the gas tank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack up the car. I already marked out the 1 inch increments. And I'm just going to start from the far side and drill each hole and check it underneath until I get close to where the lines are. Then I'm going to stop, and I might try to see if I can disassemble the holder and pull the lines down a little bit. So from the tunnel, you can roughly drill 7 inches over all the way up before you get close to where the lines are. So I'm gonna pop some rivets in these. There's some 10mm bolts holding this up. So I'm gonna see if I can drop them and pull the lines out of the way. Since the black tray that goes underneath the brake lines is clipped on and it's not really that easy to get off, I just loosened up all those mounting bolts I showed you. So I cut this piece of metal, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it over top the lines. So when I drill through the top of the car, I'm not going to be pressing real hard. So as soon as I feel the drill bit pop through the second layer, it'll hit this instead of hitting the lines. So that's what I'm going to do to get that line finished. So right here you can see the piece of metal I shoved in there. I already drilled and popped the rivets. But you can see I left it in there when I popped the rivets, and it actually spaced it out a little bit. You can see the rivets don't even come close to the brake line, so that's pretty good. So in the last video I was showing you I was having trouble getting down in this area right here, because if I used a bit with the extension, I could get some holes, but not all of them because it's just too steep. And the rivet gun won't fit in here either to pop these. So I had a couple people suggest picking up one of these right angle adapters. This is the smallest one I can find. The body's only 1.5 inches. But then I took the drill bits that I've been using, and I cut this down as far as I could where it would still have like the octagon shape to fit in here. So you can see this one's much shorter, so it will give me some more space. So basically, that works like that. Now, it still doesn't fit in here like this. So I have to try to show you this without getting in the way. Come from it from behind. Just like that. But you have to be super careful and make sure you hang on to this tight, because once you pop through, you don't want it to turn and break the bit. I had that happen a few times. So the rivet gun still doesn't fit in here to fasten the rivets. So what I had to do was I took a rivet gun that I had and I cut off, I think like 4 or 5 inches of one of the legs, because it won't fully be spread open back here if I didn't. So basically what I'm doing now is putting the rivet on and I'm popping it in from the back side. It's a lot harder to do it with the shorter arm because you don't get as much leverage, but it's the only way that I could figure out how to get it to work. But basically that's how I did it on the other side. And there's this metal piece going up. If I was able to go through the front, I would have been able to drill through the front and rivet it. But since I'm going through the back and it's a solid piece, there's no way I could come through. So there's about 4 inches where there isn't a rivet on this side. So I finished up with this. Also added a second row. Came over to here. I did the same thing on the other side, added the second row. So right now, I got all the holes marked out for the door, for at least the top section. So I'm going to drill all those holes and pop those rivets. And then after I get done that, I'll come down this side and around the bottom as far as I can get, so the door needs to come off. So I did get this side done up to the point where the door can't open far enough to finish. Got this stuff covered with some primer and paint just so it doesn't rust. So that's pretty much going to wrap this one up. I wanted to continue working, but it's starting to drizzle a bit, and I have all these tools out and still have to put the seat in. So I'm just going to throw the seat in and work on this some more next weekend. The next video is going to be a lot of under the car stuff because I'm going to try to do the 2 frame rails on each side. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the bar where the seat goes across or not yet, but the seam underneath the pedals, like right near where the ECU sits, across that side, like I did near the rear back, this part here. I'm going to do the front section. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them at the bottom. I put in about 300 rivets today. So until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.